welcome back to another episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. This is Gayle Nicholson. I am joined by Krista Ducharme and Joanne Angel Barry Colon. How are you both doing today, ladies?
We're great.
I'm always waiting for which one's going to go in.
I'm like, so we don't talk over each other.
We need to know, like, who's first, who's second.
Exactly. Usually it goes in the order that I introduce, but, you know, far be it from us to ever do anything normal, okay?
Normal is overrated.
Normal is way overrated.
Yes, it's overrated.
So this week's topic is all about bringing or creating order from chaos. And man, do we have lots of opportunities to do that these days, right? So let's just first check in a little bit. First of all, how are you guys doing? Joanne, let me check in with you first. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty damn well, considering the energy and where the moon is, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. But overall, doing pretty well and just letting go of what I can't control.
That just lines up perfectly with the theme. How about you, Krista? How you doing this week?
Overall, I'm doing really well. I have to say that after last week, I really am happy that it's this week. It's been a little more smooth going. So yeah, it's pretty good. But I can honestly say, energetically speaking, yeah, well, let's just say I am really happy. I'm one of those people that knows how to ground.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, for those of you that don't know, I've had an exciting week, but this week here in the U.S. is Thanksgiving. And I am being shown many, many, many opportunities to be grateful. My partner was in a motorcycle accident, a dirt bike accident. He's actually doing very, very well. My mother was a candy striper in a hospital, and none of us kids were allowed to ride motorcycles because of that, because those crashes can be really, really bad. But he's actually doing really well, all things considered, and the people praying for him and his own natural high pain tolerance is really helping out a lot. So I want to thank everybody who's watching who may have been praying for him based on my Facebook posts. It's working, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, Thanksgiving coming up here in the U.S. Now, Krista, being that you are American in another country, will you be doing Thanksgiving at all, any form of it?
Yes.
Yes.
We are going to be doing what we wanted to do, but nobody's doing what they want to do because of COVID. I'm really trying to be positive still about this. It's kind of daunting, though, when three of us have a 10-pound turkey to enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Again, first world problems, I do realize.
Right.
However, yes, we're going to be smoking a turkey. We won't be celebrating it on Thursday like you do traditionally in the U.S. Because of it's a work day, and for the kids here, the American kids, when they go to school, for them it's a school day and stuff. So we're going to actually celebrate Friday instead, and roll right into putting Christmas up.
You haven't put any Christmas up yet, Krista?
No. No, I've been working on, so we have these incredible display windows. It is very much a Dutch house. All Dutch homes have them. And the windows have a 2-foot windowsill. And I do mean 24 inches, sometimes deeper. And they're these huge, huge windows. And they're for you to display and for you to create beautiful. You're to make your windows beautiful for
Okay.
not just you to enjoy, but for everyone to enjoy. So I have been playing with that, but no, we still have fall up. You can see some of my fall leaves, not just my oranges and my zucchini that are hanging so that they don't rot. Um, but yeah, we still have the fall up. We I was going to, but Kevin's really, his aunt passed away last week, and and for him, Thanksgiving always was her thing, and it was something that they did. So when that occurred, I stuck to my guns. Initially, I was going to start pulling Christmas out because I'm like, oh, we need a little Christmas cheer. But after that happened, I was like, you know what? In honor of Betty, we're going to we're going to just keep fall up, and we'll do Christmas right after.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, yeah.
How about you, Joanne? I know you're not in New York proper. You're in Queens, but is the year without a Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade going to be going to be very different for you?
Theoretically, no. Um, if hypothetically I was still living at home and if my mom was alive, probably because she'd have the TV on and not necessarily watching it until, of course, Santa came, but listening to it. But in my apartment, I do have two TVs and don't use them. So yeah, only time I use my one TV is to watch movies like from DVDs and stuff like that, not actual TV.
Gotcha.
So is it a big sad thing for me that the parade's not taking place? For me personally, no, but I feel sad for those who appreciate it and really feel that that's the way to bring in our holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me when I was starting to ask you about that, if that was actually going to be an issue, because even though I grew up in Detroit, so Detroit had its own Thanksgiving Day parade. So we would flip between channels, and my mom would be in the kitchen, and we'd be standing there or sitting there in the living room in front of the TV, ripping apart a whole loaf of white bread for the
Oh,
stuffing. So that yeah, that Thanksgiving tradition for me is always something that I kind of go back to. I'll flip on the TV and I'll feel into that energy of, all the preparations being made, and even the littlest of us can do their part. As I got older and my second husband came from a family of restaurateurs, we would travel to Ohio, and he and his brother would do the Thanksgiving cook-off.
oh,
So you
nice.
want to talk about the first world problems? We would have a crown roast, a turkey, a ham, a duck, a goose, and then sides for everything. I mean, literally 3 6-foot long tables of food laid out. And there,
Mm.
you barely make a dent in it before you were stuffed like the turkey itself. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving's been always a great holiday, and all for me personally, and always comes around to remind me about the power of gratitude,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
So we do have a lot to be grateful for, like Krista mentioned, first world problems. We really don't have real problems, you
No.
know. So yeah, this is great. Now, let's get into talking about what the rest of this week holds for us. So, any of those of you who are listening who are going to go and whether it's interact with your family in person at a family Thanksgiving event, or perhaps by Zoom from a distance,
It'll be
what kind of family dynamics we might be in store for.
so, Gail. Before we continue on, I'm just on Facebook trying to, share our stuff with our friends. I can't find our live stream.
Ah, well, I show that it's offline in OBS.
Okay, then it's just a me issue. Again, I've been having internet problems, so
All right.
I just thought I'd double check.
Yep, definitely. Thank you for doing that. We'll make sure that everything goes through later. And now for Joanne.
Yes. The energy. Where shall we start? I'm happy to report that the energy is not as intense as it has been over the last, I don't know, 6 weeks, 8 months, shall we say. I think the most I can actually say regarding the moon energy is that it's sitting in Pisces today, and it actually will rotate to Aries tomorrow. And we'll be in Aries energy on Thanksgiving as well, because it will stay in Aries for the next three days. But let's speak about the energy we have for today, which I think is really important because it is in Pisces energy. And for those of you who are familiar with astrology, Pisces is a water sign, which means it's a hyper emotional day because of that Pisces energy. So anything that we are experiencing today that might be the collective or even friends or family, we're going to feel extra emotional about it. So I had actually mentioned this in a live I did this morning in regards to, and in behalf of, on the honor of Gayle, for that matter, I was actually thinking of Gayle. When I did this live report this morning in regards to the Pisces energy and our emotions. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, the moon itself is associated with our emotions. So wherever the moon is actually sitting, it's going to impact how we are feeling. Unlike the sun energy and our rising sign energy. And we'll get into that in a moment, if we need to. When we think about the moon's energy, it really is about our emotions and how we deal with certain things that's going on with us on a personal level and also on an individual, on a collective level. Now, I want to sort of intertwine the moon's energy with Sagittarius for a moment, because we did recently just move into Sagittarius energy, and happy birthday to those Sags out there. And when we think about the Sagittarius energy, it's really about how you want to show up in the world, how you want to be seen, what you want to be remembered for, what kind of legacy you want to leave behind, but most importantly, how do you want people to remember you right now? And when we combine that, how do we want to be remembered right now, and our emotions, it can take us off on a tangent of like, oh my God, am I showing up the way I really want to be? Am I putting the right foot forward? Am I really presenting myself the way I want the world to see me? And it can become an emotional roller coaster. And I put that energy out there because I want to invite all of our viewers to remind yourselves that to be gentle. It's okay. However you're showing up, show up. That is the key. And just be gentle with yourself on your emotions and recognizing that, yes, today it's an emotional day, but we move into Aries tomorrow. Aries is our fire sign. So it's about action. So when we think about our emotions tomorrow through Thursday, we're going to be overreacting.
Oh, delightful.
Thank you. That's such wonderful news.
Overreacting. So for those who are going to be making the turkeys, preparing the turkeys, thank goodness you're not going to be in your emotional side so much. You might be overreacting in reference to what needs to be prepared, what needs to be on the table, this thing, that thing, who's showing up on time, whether it's on Zoom or at your house. So remember, just it's a holiday, and as Gayle mentioned earlier, it's a day to be grateful and thankful. And be grateful and thankful for the fact that you do have family who are coming together, whether it's via Zoom or face-to-face in your home. And enjoy this time. Enjoy this amazing time. And just want to put one last spin on just the day itself, which today's date happens to be the 24th. Yes, it is the 24th?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And when we think about the 24 in numerology, bringing it to a single digit, it's a 6 energy day. So it means to take care of ourselves, heal and nurture ourselves, and then heal and nurture those who need healing. It's an appropriate day for all of us. So that's our energy for the day, the
awesome.
forecast. You don't need an umbrella.
Unless your mom's the type that throws hard rolls at you.
Oh, yeah.
Then maybe more shield if it's a hard roll.
Yeah. I don't think an umbrella is going to cover that. I don't know what you want to put out.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe
there
it
you go.
smells.
Let me ask Joanne, do you know exactly like when the moon went into Pisces?
Okay, we must remind our viewers that I am a student of astrology.
No, I just wondered if you had it. I know, yes, you are a student.
Offhand, in this very moment, I do not, but I can definitely get that information to you.
Okay.
But just so you do know, the moon has actually been in Pisces. This is the third day, so it went in as of the 22nd. Okay. I don't know the exact time, but the November 22nd, it went into Pisces energy.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, the reason I asked was because I tend to be one of these people that crisis happens and I handle it. And then when everything calms down, I'm like, I'm a blubbering wreck, you know?
Yes.
And it was a certain point in time last night that I got to the blubbering wreck part. And I just wondered if it had...
Well, it has a lot to do, because if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I am, you are a double Scorpio and Libra, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a Libra sun with the double Scorpio behind me.
Yeah, so that Libra energy brings you into a space.
Pretty.
That Libra energy brings you in a space of you need order and balance. And when things fall out of order and balance, it throws you off the loop. And because the moon happens to be in the Pisces energy, even though Libra is your sun sign, it creates you to be a little bit more emotional. But also your moon and your rising sign are water signs. So it makes you almost like double the effect of emotional. So what you are experiencing right now with your partner makes a whole lot of sense. And yes, and as I said earlier, when we are experiencing whatever emotions that show up, it's healthy to allow yourself to feel them and to be in them. Do not, and this is for all of you as well. Do not push them under. Do not try to pretend that they don't exist and try to be the warrior that many of us want to be. Allow yourself to be in the space of the emotion, and then later you can come back and be the warrior.
Right. That is excellent advice. That's advice that I've had to take. Like years ago, I started like, okay, if I gotta let it rip, I gotta let it rip, right? And I may like wait till I'm alone or wait until I feel like a safe enough distance with people, not in my space, that I can do that whole anguished wail of a cry, but that's what's necessary. Your body has to move that energy. So
and the crying, believe it or not, is a part of your healing mechanism as well. So if you're holding back the tears because you want to be strong, or you feel you need to be strong for others, you're actually doing a disservice to your actual spiritual energy, because you're preventing yourself from that healing process. So go ahead.
And then that energy stagnates and causes dis-ease in the body. Don't do that to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can also look at crying. I always tell people, me crying, because I'm a Scorpio, so it's a good thing. If you start seeing tears come down my face, that means you're gonna live. So
yes, because you are a Scorpio, and it's so interesting that Scorpio's energies as an emotional being is very different from Pisces and Cancer. Energies. Because again, it's like you said, the Scorpio has that sting. So when you have tears strolling out your eyes, that's really a good thing. Pisces, on the other hand, we cry all the freaking time. I can cry just like this. I mean, talk to me about my mom and the tears will show up. Talk to me about my dad and the tears show up. So yeah. So yes.
I mean, Scorpios cry happy. I mean, I'm a very good at releasing tears, out of joy, out of sorrow, any emotion. But no, I understand what Gayle said about, yes, and I have to be there and I'm the warrior and I'm coming through and I'm handling everything. And then, going away to be in a little puddle as you're trying to heal yourself. And it's okay to do that.
Yes.
But I do like to tell people, it's like, if I'm about ready to rage and boil over, tears are good. Those are a positive thing, because that means you'll live another day.
Exactly. And Krista, what's your moon sign? Because I know your sun sign is Scorpio.
Yes, I'm a Libra moon and a Virgo rising.
Very interesting. So that's where the moon energy for you is that balance. You need that order, which is so funny because you're the same as Krista. I mean, as Gayle, which is really funny, minusing the Virgo.
Well, and the Virgo adds quite a different but it works. I mean, it's I learned, I always, we do. And so here a really interesting thing this year, one of the things COVID has been able to give me permission to do is learn a little bit more about the significance, not that I really do understand it, but of your moon sign and your ascending and descending, and how it actually really is like a package deal with who you are. It's not all about your sun sign. And so I've done my kids and I have my husband, and it's like, oh, it makes so much sense. It's like, wow. And then add your Chinese year and the metal into it, or your element into it. And it's like, oh yeah, this is exactly who it makes total sense.
That's how we can get 7 billion people out of 12 signs.
Wow.
And general PSA, if you read the horoscope in the newspaper and it doesn't sound like you, it's because your rising sign or your moon sign is more prevalent in your personality.
Exactly. And usually, on a side note to that, when we think about the ascending versus the sun, the ascending sign is actually the energy that you're presenting to the world. The sun sign is actually what you're here to learn about in this lifetime.
Okay.
Yes. And of course, our moon sign represents our emotions.
Yeah.
So when we're being a little psycho during a new moon, you must check in to see where that moon is sitting on your particular chart, because there could be a reason why you are being psycho.
Right. Excellent stuff. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Krista, are you ready to bring us into the rock part of our talk today? Here, let me hit this little button. Sweet.
Let's rock. Yeah, awesome. Let's rock. Let's roll. So it's really kind of cool, because we never know as a group what our topic is necessarily until kind of almost Sunday. And it starts with me, right? You, Gayle, you're like, Krista, what's the crystal of the week? And so I'm like, this is the crystal that I've gotten. This week was kind of almost as logical as last week's. Last week, of course, if you remember, was black tourmaline, or as a bonus, you could do like a snowflake obsidian, because it was about grounding. Well, this week, I took into account that we are going to be still having some heightened energy as a collective. And the fact that in the United States, we're celebrating Thanksgiving, and which is what we mark in the United States as the beginning of the holiday season. And with that brings a lot of emotions for people. And it doesn't matter where our sun sign is, doesn't matter where our moon sign is, for that fact, because that emotional energy can, for some people, is just generations of,
it's family of origin stuff, isn't it?
That comes, that exactly. I mean, so we could have a whole other conversation, right, about that. So it was kind of interesting. And the message that kept coming to me, and I'm going to tell you the message and then I'm going to tell you the stone. The message that kept coming to me is that this week is about learning. And it's not learning as in, oh yeah, we're going to open up books and study, or necessarily, or that we are, it's not necessarily a scholastic type of learning. The learning is more a internal. It is coming from within us. This learning is for us to grow and help us study. Think of yourself. You are the study subject. Okay, so
Science experiment.
in this, there you go. You know, that can be a lot of fun, having a science experiment when you're as long as you're the one that's running it, I guess. But so yeah, but that's kind of what the message was, is it's all about learning. And so one of my favorite stones, and I love this stone on many levels, but when it comes to learning and when it comes to studying, or when it comes to helping focus, and it's not just that, and not just the educational side, but I find that it helps focus from within, is using rainbow fluorite. So I have two gentlemen, or two, actually, they're both females here, and I'm going to see if my little happy light can help me. So this one is beautiful, and it's full of greens and purples, and green in a fluorite and blue. This one actually has a great line of blue right there. And so the greens and the blue is all about, think of the green as your heart and it's healing. So they align the chakras, rainbow fluorite in particular. And depending upon, the vibrancy of the colors, it works with our chakra, which is your energy wheels or your energy system. Another way I like to explain our chakra system is, think of it as the circuit breakers to our energy system. So if your energy system is running all in smooth and in alignment, all circuits are open and all circuits are a go. But if something is snapped shut, guess what? Your circuits are going a little bit haywire. And the big thing is you don't want all your circuits shut. That makes it easier. But the other really cool thing about using fluorite is it helps us connect with our higher intuitions, right? So it helps us connect our upper chakras. It aligns the chakras, but helps us connect our upper chakras and really help us with our intuition. And one of the things about learning about yourself, especially in family situations, is being able to remember to tap into your intuition before you snap because mom said that, she wished that you didn't wear that sweater, or that, your hair's too long, or whatever. People say things that can make you snap. They can say things that are nice, or what you think are nice, but because of the energy that you're bringing into a family situation, it may not have a positive effect, right? So before you react, think of what fluorite is reminding us to do. It's reminding us to connect within, learn about ourselves, and ask, is that reaction a reflection of something that you don't like about yourself, right? Or is that reaction just a reaction to have a reaction, if that makes sense, right? And use that intuition of yours to go a different way. If you think it's going to be a negative response, or a not so, a snippy or snarky response, maybe you need to pause just a moment, take a breath, and connect to rainbow fluorite. I don't know why this guy was the one who really wants to be seen, but I need to show you this one too. This one has a different color structure up at the top, and I will have pictures of both. But yeah, the rainbow fluorite is to help us really connect within, teach us about ourselves, remember and remind us that our reactions to things need to come more from an intuitive standpoint rather than a reactive standpoint, if that makes sense to you guys.
It totally does for me, because one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that when I like show up to a gathering, right? And somebody within the first 2 or 3 minutes says something that's got me reacting in a certain way, I am almost always not reacting to what they said. I'm reacting to the chain of events that they've set off in my memory of all of these times in the past that are unresolved, right?
Yep.
So fluorite is absolutely perfect to bring your mind back around to, because it gives you that strata order. Where does this belong? Where does this belong? Is this, how do all these things fit together inside me that's causing this reaction? And what other choices do I have? And being able to order your mind for a response.
Yes. Yeah. And it is. And it's really, I know that we were just joking around about how some of this, or some of our reactions and some of our anxiety of doing family gatherings from now through the Christmas, New Year's time frame, right? Is a lot of it is generational. And some of it comes back from, like you said, ancestral. And it's just like, really and truly, guess what? You have the power to cut that. You have the power to change it. And frequently it can be as simple as just what your reaction is in that moment. I had a grandmother that she was not my favorite, a very interesting woman, but she was just that person that she could say something and I would go, I mean, I was like going to kill her. But not really.
I find that hard to believe, Krista, as a Scorpio. What sign was she?
She was a Sagittarius, actually. Actually, this Thanksgiving is her birthday. She was born on Thanksgiving, and it's November 26th. So she was born on November 26th, and she was born on that particular day. So and it was Thanksgiving the year she was born. But I mean, really interesting person, had a really remarkable life, did some really neat things, but yet her presentation and how she spoke, in particular to me, I was the oldest granddaughter. It was always like, oh my gosh. And then come to really kind of think about, and when I explored the energy further, it was very generational, because it was, my dad's reaction with her, which was his mother. And it was, her reaction and how people within the family were with her. And so then it was just like, oh, wait a minute, I have control over this. When I learned that, it was remarkable.
And interesting enough,
changed the dynamics altogether.
Yes. And interesting enough, not that the show is about this, but I figure I'd bring it in because I'm hearing it. Two things. She was probably a really great teacher for you, because she was bringing out things that triggered you, that needed healing. And more importantly, even though in this reincarnation she was your grandmother, in a past life she was your sister.
Oh, okay.
And that's why there was such intensity between the two of you, because I'm getting that she was actually your older sister, and felt like there was things that you needed to learn that you didn't learn in the past life, and that's why she was so stern with you and reacted the way she did with you.
Oh, yes. I was very proficient. I can't do it now, but at one point I could walk very well with books on my head. Oh yeah.
Now, let me ask you, Krista, do you have an older brother?
No, I am. I do have an older sister, but I didn't receive her as my birth. I received her on my 27th birthday.
Okay. Gotcha.
She was placed for adoption
Oh, gotcha.
and then
Oh,
found us. Yeah.
interesting dynamics
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this bleeds into your grandmother's experience of life, but there was always in my family generationally like this assumed rightness of the the firstborn son must be the firstborn,
Yeah.
right? You got to have that male hierarchy at the head of your family.
Yeah.
And
No, we didn't have that.
yeah.
We're three
Interesting.
generations of females.
Wow.
Yeah. We married our men. My oldest son, it was the first male born in 80 years.
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
So we're a strong family of females, of women. And it's kind of fun to have some boys. I didn't know if I was going to do well being a boy mom, but I have two sons and they're pretty neat. I enjoy them. And my daughter, some days I enjoy her. I don't
That's
know if
awesome.
she might be hearing. That's why I said that.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
hear mom.
You will later.
No, she's actually all three of our kids are really fun and funny, and they have a remarkable relationship with each other and with us, which is definitely something to be grateful for when you have that. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of like tie all this together because today's word of the day, Gayle's creative commands. If I can get there, hold on a second here. Alrighty. Guess what the word is? Or
Gratitude?
Gratitude. Yeah.
order.
Oh.
Order. Yes.
Order.
That was my next guess.
I don't know why, but I thought she said hoarder, like hoarding things. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
hoarder?
no.
Where does that fit?
Well, each week, like Krista said, each week we have, I reach out to Krista and I'm like, what's the crystal for the week, right? If I don't already have, a voice that's pulling for this is the word you need to talk about this week, if I don't already have one at that point, then I go and look through my definitions for whatever crystal Krista has chosen and pull a word from that. And fluorite is a wonderful word for order or, facilitator for order. I don't know if I spoke about this on the show before, but I know I told you two about my coworker that I brought a fluorite obelisk back to. And she asked, well, I bought it on my lunch hour and I brought it back to work. And I was showing her and she asked if she could hold it. And as soon as I put it in her hand, it kind of jumped and the tip of it, there was already a fracture, but her energy actually like broke the tip off of it, right? This is a woman who was what we would call a dry drunk. She was no longer numbing out, but she also wasn't doing any of the spiritual work to change anything. So that right there is walking chaos, to anything that she touches. And it's amazing what active chaos can do to fluorite. But it's also amazing what fluorite can do for active chaos, right? As long as we respect the sense of order that the fluorite wants to give to us, right? Like you were talking about. Now, when I'm talking about order, it's not just a matter of the energy of the fluorite and stuff like that. Things that are chaotic, things in your environment that are out of order, they pull on your energy. They are a distraction. Maybe you've working from home, you sit down to do something and you realize, oh my God, I've got to clean this space up first. Or maybe you can't do something in the living room if there's dirty dishes in the sink. We as human beings need a certain sense of order in our environment, or else our energy gets distracted in causing that order to happen that's not already there. So I invite you, as we're going into this Thanksgiving week ahead, that Amazon is not the only place you can find order. You know,
That's awesome. I like that.
thank you. Make sure that you've got your own stuff in order when you're reaching out, whether it's to your friends, whether it's to your family, whether it's the Thanksgiving, party environment in person or online, whether it's your Black Friday shopping. Get your house in order, and you'll waste less money. You'll have more fun. And we'll go into this holiday season with the proper sense of being grateful for what we have so that more can be added unto it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I really have to say about order. It's been an interesting couple of days without there being any other influence in my home. It's been really easy to keep order.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Not that Bill's not your typical guy in that he doesn't leave piles of things. He's actually more organized and ordered than I am. But it has created for me a sense of security. And that's one of the things that order brings is an expectation of peace of mind, contentment. Everything is exactly as it's supposed to be and where it's supposed to be. And you can relax, not thinking that something is going to pop out of, or fall on your head when you open the closet. Metaphorically speaking. So that's pretty much it that I have to say about order today. What are your guys' thoughts? You got anything to add to that, Joanne?
Order. What do I have to add to order? I think you pretty much said it all. I mean, it's just really about, for me, order is exactly for you. It's like when I have order, everything is in perfect alignment. When things are not in the order for me, it does throw me off track. Yeah. Like I'm very rigid and work by a schedule and a calendar. And my better half or other half or whatever half you want to call him right now, he's not as orderly as I am. He's very spontaneous. And sometimes that throws me off order because it's like, I need a little order here. So when I have order, I'm a very happy person.
Nice.
So, yeah.
But it sounds like he balances you well with that little bit of spontaneity that breaks you out of your order sometimes when you need it.
Yeah, to some degree. I think this year might have been a little bit more than I could handle. But I'm okay.
There you go. That's when you got to rein him into the order side. We have cookies.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's a work in progress. And he's doing well. I'll give him an E for effort. So yeah.
Nice. E for effort. There you go. No, I get order. Kevin is orderly by military regulation. So, but yet it's so funny, even in his order, he can be very disorganized. And so I'm looking at, I'm on our kitchen table, which I love, by the way. And his stuff is from working. He came home and he was doing some work and he's left all these piles. And you're talking about order. And I'm like, oh yeah. However, I am just as guilty. So I'm not just, pointing the finger at him and forgetting that 3 are pointing back at me. I'm a huge, I will be in the middle of doing something and stuff. And I find that it's like, I have to leave my project where it was or how I'm doing it. I can't pick it up and then pull it back out and pick it up and pull it back out. Because then it's like, oh, if I've put it away, then, oh, well, whatever.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. So, yeah, but order it is. It's a good word. And I think for when you're talking about the energy aspect of it, you do function better. It's very interesting. My younger sister has been experiencing vertigo for the last couple of, well, about the last 10 days now, I guess. And it was really, really, really bad over last weekend. And my parents had to go and help her, and they called me and we're talking. And the sense I kept getting, part of the apartment that she lives in, the owner of it loves taxidermy.
Oh, that's
And
creepy.
he loves to hunt. And so,
I mean, it's great for him, but to stand in somebody else's room of stuffed animals is
yes,
creepy.
it is. It is. And so he has a lot of taxidermy inside the house. Now, granted, she's in an apartment above. And then he has he has heads of animals, all up the side of the house.
Inside or
Now,
outside?
as Tracy says, outside.
Ooh.
As Tracy says, the rent is beyond great for the location it's at. It's outside of Boston. To give people a rental price in their mind, right? And so, but I said to her, I said, I'm getting a real big sense. Part of your vertigo is the stress from the animals, because when she first moved in, she had a really bad case of vertigo as well. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is them. They're protesting, and you're the one you're the one who's experiencing the protest.
Wow.
And so I said, you have to make sure when she's able to go back home, I said, you have to make sure you're able to, if you have any empty boxes, think of a place that a small animal can hide. That needs to go away, because the energy of that animal, or those animals, and they're all small animals, nothing big, it's all small stuff. I said, they're hiding in those boxes, or they're hiding behind things, the energy of it. So yeah, so that goes back to order. Energy needs to have that system of order as well, that flow. I just mentioned our whole chakra system, right? Think of it as your circuit breaker box. There's order in that as well.
Yeah. Well,
For a reason.
Fibonacci, right? There's an order in spiral, right? The natural progression of life is an ordered process of energy. You plant the seeds to grow a daisy, and tulips aren't going to come up because there's an ordered, bit to life. Right?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
I do.
In regards to your sister's, the wall that all the animals on the outside, the heads are displayed at, is it all on one wall?
I have only seen it on one wall on the outside of the house. And then I've only seen some of the taxidermy that's inside her landlord's house. I'm avoiding this person's name out of respect.
What she can do, what she can do based on the animals on the outside of the house, if it's all on one wall, and if she's capable of doing, is get a mirror and place it on that wall. It's a feng shui cure to literally block out the energy from coming in, so she herself won't feel that energy.
Yeah, I'll have to mention that, because I don't think she sees it.
It's not about seeing
I'll mention it.
It's about
I'll
feeling.
mention that to her, because I didn't think. I'll mention that to her, because I told her, I'm like, you also need to make sure, because she's an empath, and she's one of those ones who picks up everything. So she and I've had this conversation.
If she would display the mirror up, the energy itself will stay on that side, and energetically, she may not pick up that energy anymore, because she won't be feeling it, because it won't be coming at her, because the mirror will pull it back in, pull it back the other way, rather.
Push it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Just keep it out.
It's a great cure. I had a client years ago who was having a conflict with her neighbor next door, and their apartments were connected. And she had spoken to me about it, and I says, put a mirror up. I said, and you'll never have a conflict with her again. And she's like, well, what's the mirror going to do? I says, it's going to disconnect the energy of you and her. And the minute she put the mirror, she goes, well, how big? I said, the bigger the mirror, the more energy it's going to block out for you. If you put a little tiny mirror, it's not going to do much. No. So she did. She went and got herself a nice sized mirror. And within 3 days, she had said that she felt like the woman literally moved because she didn't hear her. She didn't see her.
Wow.
It was like she disappeared. But she did still live there. It's just that there was no need for that interference anymore. So it's a very powerful cure.
Interesting.
It is.
Interesting.
Another really good cure on that note for people from a crystal standpoint is selenite.
Yes.
Put selenite right there. And we were when we first arrived in Australia, we were staying at an Airbnb. And the people that were on one side of us had chickens. And they didn't have one or two chickens. They had a lot of chickens, and they would argue a lot. And so
the chickens would argue?
No. Maybe they were picking up the couple, But there's a lot of arguing and a lot of loud speaking and stuff. So I put selenite in the window, in two of the windows on that side of the house, and I didn't hear them again.
That's why that chick gave me that when I told her I was getting married. I was at a festival with the people that I did my internship with as a minister, and one of the ladies that sold crystals, she's like, she had heard that I got engaged, and she came over with this piece of selenite, like 3 inches like wide, an inch and a half thick, and about 10 inches long, and she says, "Congratulations for your wedding."
Well, selenite works for a lot of things.
Yeah, I think she knew something.
Well, she may have.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, we're just about to the end of our day today. I want to remind everyone, please, for any lack of fluorite that you may find in your life, please reach out to everythingjusrocks.com. Tell Athena that the 3 Crones sent you, and schedule your FaceTime tour of the shop so that she can send you your choice of choice fluorite. All right. You can watch all of us. Let's first of all thank you to our sponsors: Dimensional Healing with Krista, Creative Command Coaching and Consulting with Gayle, and Holistic Fitness New York with Joanne. And then all of this is also seen on GayleNicholson.com. You can watch us pretty much everywhere. Tune into Strong Island Television, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, GayleNicholson.com, and also Strong Island Radio Network. You can hear us from pretty much anywhere. I want to thank you, ladies, once again for coming together to brighten my day and brighten the airwaves worldwide, globally. I am so blessed to have both of you as friends in my heart and as partners in the interwebs. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being part of my life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.